Jobs are not hiring in 2026. This has been going on for a few years now, especially since the C-19 pandemic, which has accelerated everything, the job market being no exception. From job boards posting fake jobs and ghost jobs in the first place, to applying for fake jobs and ghost jobs thinking that they're real jobs, to being scammed by the fake jobs and ghost jobs, to somehow actually find a real job posting, applying for the real job, and being interviewed multiple times only to be ghosted and to not hear back from anyone at all anymore. It's no wonder that people are giving up on a job hunt completely, especially when that job is something you didn't want in the first place. More than majority of most people are being affected by this these days. Let's hear what they gotta say.
Apply for a job. Get a phone screening. Ace the phone screening. Get called back a week later. They want to push you in first round of interviews. You're excited. Position: communications and PR coordinator. Pay: $55 to $65 an hour. In that range. You're excited even more. Hybrid: 3 days in office, 2 days work from home. Exactly what you've been looking for. Beautiful. You send in your availability and previous work for review. Schedule interview. Prepare for interview. You're excited even more. Week of the interview, they call to confirm your interview time and the address. You confirm. You're confident. Think you're gonna ace this shit. Day before interview, position has been paused until the unforeseeable future. Repeat.
Ah, yes, the year is 2026, and companies that can offer absolutely no job security because AI is taking over are offering a starting salary of $45,000 maximum in a city where it costs approximately $4,000 for an apartment. And sure, if you manage to survive the mass layoffs that seem to be occurring every single month, in about 10 years' time, you might move up a level and get a 0.5% pay raise. And because we put in the job description and you put in your cover letter that you absolutely thrive in a fast-paced environment, you are totally okay working an additional 20 to 30 hours per week unpaid and being on call 24/7. And if you're worried about affording rent, it's okay, just live outside of the city and commute in. You'll have to sacrifice an additional 2 to 3 hours to do that, but it'll save you some money. Except, oh wait, the cost to commute in keeps going up too. So that's gonna really cut into things. And yes, you could totally do this job from home, but we want you in the office every single day. This way, we can socialize. And really, you'll be much more productive after you just spent 3 hours commuting here and have another 3 hours to get home. And actually, before we even get into all those details, you actually need a doctorate degree and about 12 years experience for this entry-level job. And when you're applying, make sure to not only upload your resume, but then retype every single bullet point into our own system. And your cover letter should be about 2 pages long. And then after all that, we're gonna do a video screening interview. It should take about 45 minutes. So you can totally squeeze this into your day. And if you don't hear from us afterwards, that's totally normal. We ghost everyone.
I applied to a job through LinkedIn. They sent me an email back. We took a look at your application, we've decided to move on to other candidates, blah, blah, blah. But then under that, it says, in bold, if you have anyone you'd like to refer to this job, please refer them, and we'll compensate you. No, I refer myself, what?
You need a minimum of 2 years of retail sales experience for this entry-level role at Macy's. Minimum 1 year working in the restaurant industry. Minimum 3 years of customer service to work at McDonald's. Unfortunately, you're not really what the hiring managers are looking for to work part-time at Burger King for 10 hours a week. So sorry. Minimum 3 years sales experience in a high-paced environment, including holidays, to work at Foot Locker. Are you a student? Oh, we don't accommodate student schedules here. Yeah, the only shift available that we have is from 12 p.m. to 3 a.m. the next day. We noticed you applied for this position 3 years ago. Are you still interested? Yeah, the job posting opened 3 hours ago, but the position has been filled already.
Honestly, it's really difficult to be unemployed for so long. It's been about like 6 months for me, and all my friends are like, oh, you should apply here, get a job and stuff like that. And it's like, it's not that easy, bro. Like, I would have gotten a job if it was that easy. And also, I'm coming from a place where I want to have a better job than I had last time, and I don't know if that's going to happen, actually. And a lot of these jobs are hiring, they only want like $20 an hour, or like they're paying you like nothing, and I don't feel like that's going to be good for me, and I'm going to get back into my situation. For me, I was making like 25 to 30 an hour, so I was just trying to make more. And now I'm making a lot less, but I mean, that was my choice, but my mental health at the time for the job, I was like, bro, I can't just keep doing this job, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I didn't have a choice. I just didn't think it would just take this long to find another job, It's crazy. Like, soon I'm going to have to start DoorDashing or Uber Eats, or even now I'm trying. But even if when I do that, like, they'll just take it out my unemployment. So what's the point of even doing it, Like, just...
So to the people that have no job and are unemployed, how are y'all making it out here? Because how are y'all just paying bills? Because it's really hard out here. I know it's hard to find a job. And apparently like 80% of people in America are unemployed and are struggling to find a job. So basically, like, how are y'all doing? How are y'all paying your bills? Like, how are y'all doing overall? Like, I can only imagine how hard it is.
Hiring rate is the worst since the COVID pandemic. February 2026 had the worst hiring rate since the COVID pandemic. February 2026. March 2026 will be worse. Every month will be worse. We are in a stagnant job market. People are not hiring. They are not creating jobs, and we have more people unemployed than jobs available. Warning, warning, warning. We are in an economic crisis. Our economy is collapsing every single day.
I just read this article which explained that 66% of CEOs at a Manhattan meeting stated that they plan to freeze hiring or reduce their workforce in 2026. Federal Reserve Governor in this article also stated that they are approaching zero job growth if the trends continue. So let's talk about what's going on. Companies aren't just slowing down. They're actively asking which jobs can we replace with AI or automate. And if a role can be replaced, many companies are going to do it. This isn't just about technology, it's about incentives. Corporate profits are at record highs. Productivity has increased, executive pay keeps on rising, but wages for workers are mostly stagnant and the cost of living keeps climbing. So what you end up with, jobs start becoming scarce resources. Good paying jobs, those become luxuries, which means employers can gain more leverage and workers become more disposable, which changes power dynamics in the workplace. When jobs are scarce, people are less likely to speak up, push back, report abuse, negotiate pay, or even leave unhealthy workplaces, because replacement is easier than retention. This creates a more coercive environment. Not because the workers are worse, but because the system is now tilted. And that's the real issue. We're heading toward an economy where productivity keeps rising, profits keep growing, but job security shrinks, and labor has less power, which means power is more concentrated to the people on top. And if we don't talk about this honestly, we normalize a future where being employed at all becomes a privilege instead of a baseline, especially when it comes to survival.
I've officially applied to about 50 jobs in the last 2 months, and every week I'm changing my strategy and doing something different. I have gotten back rejections from maybe 5, 6, 7 of them. The rest of them had said nothing to me. My first recruiter conversation with someone this week who is hiring for a contract role that pays not much more than I make. I haven't heard anything since, so I'm assuming that's also going nowhere. Oh my god, this is so exhausting. And I get it when it's like I apply to a job that I'm not fully qualified for and a company's like, yeah, no, we can't do that. Granted, when I did that in 2021, I would still get interviews. Companies are not willing to take risks on anyone anymore, but they're also not willing to look at your resume even if you do fit the required qualification. Maybe you're not passing the ATS or you don't have a referral, there's something. So referrals don't even guarantee you a job, because I know jobs that had like 200 applicants and like 10 of them were referrals. So it really feels like winning the lottery that I would even get an interview. Then you go online and there's like 40 different pieces of advice from people who are recruiters, people who are also just job searching. The recruiters are telling you not to do what the people who are job searching are telling you to do. Everyone's like, you need to use AI, but like not like this. And then recruiters are like, please do not use AI. But like they're using AI too to filter out all the resumes. It's like, I should not have to intake like 40 pieces of advice and utilize them all in the correct manner to even get a recruiter call. It should not feel like winning the lottery to get an interview. And like all of the messaging is just like, you're not doing it right. You're not doing enough to get the job. Honestly, I just think the system is extremely broken right now. Long-term unemployment is at a high. And granted, I'm in a privileged position where I'm currently employed. I just know that I will be unemployed soon. So I have the privilege of getting to do this like months ahead of time. and prepare and compound my momentum forward while I still have an income. So I can't imagine what this feels like when you're unemployed, because this is so draining and exhausting to me right now.
After applying for 324 jobs, getting 9 interviews, and 0 job offers, I'm convinced that I'm just destined to be homeless. And the worst part is I am $117,000 in debt because some idiot convinced me that going to school and getting a degree was actually gonna get me. So I don't wanna hear go in person and apply for a resume. Mom, leave me the hell alone, that shit doesn't work. I was talking to one of my friends a couple weeks back, telling him about how bad I was struggling to get a job, and he managed to land a job. He has an associate's degree. How the hell did he get a job before me? But he told me he's been using this app called Sprout, and he's been auto-applying on there. And he applied to over 200 jobs in a week. It took me 4 months to apply for 300 jobs. He did it in a week. So by the time he got to month 2, where he was at 800 jobs, he actually got 2 job offers. So I'm gonna go try that. Seems to be a very trustworthy method. Pray for me.
The job market is only going to get worse. And here is exactly why in the next few years it's going to get worse for candidates. Especially in 2026, there's going to be a huge number of layoffs. That's both from big companies like Amazon and JP Morgan all the way to the mid-level size companies. And even though they're profitable and they're having record sales, they are still cutting jobs. And the reason for this is they want to increase their profit margins for stakeholder value, and they're going to do that by employing agents, not people. Now, to start with, this is only going to be for entry-level roles, but it will creep up through the ranks. On top of that, job boards have completely changed. 5 years ago, you could go on a job board like LinkedIn or Indeed, you could apply for a job, and you most likely get an email. Nowadays, job boards are just fully automated, they're full of bots and fake job posts. And it gives this fake impression that the job market is healthy, there's lots of opportunities. The reality is, majority of them are not even real. You have internal hiring increasing, so basically companies employing their own employees. And you also have a lot of bot and pretend jobs to gather data, inflating the job numbers and making it look like it's easier, but it actually isn't. It's actually the opposite, it's getting worse. And finally, we're now in a generation where everybody has a degree, everybody has the same qualifications. 30, 40 years ago, having a degree meant something. It was valuable and it was rare because not many people had it. But with the information accessible so instantly in today's generation, everybody can learn every skill, which means that everything gets diluted. That obviously increases the talent pool, and it also increases the competition between candidates, despite a slowing growth of jobs available. Now, all 3 of those elements have been happening for the last 2 or 3 years, but now it's accelerated. And the scary thing is, it's only going to get worse throughout 2027 and 2028. Now, of course, nobody can predict the future and what's actually going to happen, but what I have a gut feeling about is that there's going to be a huge paradigm shift. There is going to be a segmentation of people and classes, and I'll probably make a part 2 explaining what I mean by that. But if you've watched to the end of this video and you're worrying about the future of your job, then you need to do one thing. The biggest change that I've made in my personal life, and I've seen hundreds of successful people do the same, is building a personal brand. Because building a personal brand is the only value that you can truly intrinsically have. Because as humans, we are unique, we have imagination, we have creativity, and AI will never be able to replace that. So if you are genuinely worried about your future of your job, start building a personal brand and a reputation now, and start developing a network. So then people know who you are and why you exist. And that is something that no one can take from you.
When y'all said it was hard to get a job, I thought y'all meant like 6-figure jobs. Tell me why I just got rejected from McDonald's, bro. No, you heard me right. McDonald's turned me down. Tell me why I'm auto-applying on Sprout. Casual day, scrolling left and right, just choosing the job that I want to get. And McDonald's pops up and I just swipe and accidentally apply for McDonald's. I'm like, well, this is going to be a guaranteed job offer. I'm waiting for them to get back to me immediately because I know they're going to hire me, right? Right? Well, no. No, actually, last night I got an email back from McDonald's telling me, we're sorry, thank you for reaching out, but we've moved forward with a better candidate. Who is a better candidate than a guy who went to school for 4 years, graduated with a 4.0 GPA, and is working on his master? To be real, y'all, all jokes aside, this job market is cooked, and I hope 2026 is going to be different. But at least I can auto-apply on Sprout.
You know when your parents tell you that to get a job, you have to go in there multiple times and like ask for updates? I can confirm that that does not work. Maybe it's because I moved to a small town, which I hate. And the only reason I say I hate that is because I've never had so much like trouble finding a job, basically based off of just not having like friends or references. And I have like job references, but a lot of the people I worked with at my other jobs would say that they only got the job because their friend like gave them a word. And as someone that's like independent like myself, I've never had anyone give me a word or put in a word for me for any job. I just show up and interview like a regular person. But in this state, it doesn't work like that. And there's been a few times where I had to learn, like my brain's had to process that, like, I'm not getting picked for this job, not because of my ability. I'm pretty sure either because they don't like me or they already chose someone and they just don't want to take anyone else's stuff. So when I first moved here, I really wanted to work at Ulta instead of like fast food. So I applied to Ulta online because they said they were hiring for like a seasonal, like task associate and also a beauty advisor. So I applied for both of those. And then I also went in like actually a few weeks after I applied for those. I talked to the front desk. I talked to the manager. I told the manager I sent an application a few weeks ago. She was like, yeah, we're restocking. I was like thinking, okay, what does that have to do with my resume? So I give her some time. I wait like 2 more months. I come back. I basically come back enough times where she basically has to just give me an interview because I have been coming back like week after week after week. Like at this point, give me my interview or are you still hiring? So she gave me my interview and then I still never heard nothing back. I went in like the week after I took my interview to ask about it and they still never like, so I was like, okay, you just don't want to hire me. Like just take it off the goddamn Google then. Then I had the runaround with Planet Fitness. Since I go to the gym like literally every other day, I was like, okay, I'm just going to apply to work at the gym because I go there every day. Like that makes so much sense to me. I worked at an art museum. I can clean. I can do all this stuff. So it's not like I can't do anything that they can't do. So I apply online and then I go in like a few weeks later again and I ask the front desk, oh, like, did you guys get my application? She's like, oh, the online doesn't work. So you're going to have to email the manager. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I email the manager, nothing, crickets. So I go in like the next few weeks and I ask another employee, oh, when is the manager going to be here? They say in the morning. I come in the morning, manager's not there. Someone says at night, I come in the night, manager's not there. So then I'm like, y'all giving me the runaround. Do you want me to work here? Like, I'm confused because there's an opening online. Then months later, I get an email saying that they already chose someone for the position, but they never interviewed me. So then I was pissed off. And I sent an email back saying, what about my resume didn't like meet the standards? And of course, ghosted. Then I tried to work at another gym that I actually went to before I canceled my membership because they were cash grabbers. I put in another job application for the baby like sitting job at the gym just to like watch the kids. And I was waiting patiently. Turns out the girl that left was on maternity leave and she just came back and they just gave her the job and didn't even like interview me or nothing. Like, and I come to that gym every single day. But yeah, getting a job is not easy. The job I have now, I don't even like still, but it's not easy. It's rough out here.
Which one is worse? Being the only person in your friend group without a job after graduation, or everyone in your friend group not having a job after graduation? I know everyone says that 2026 has the worst job market to go into in like 5 years, 10 years, whatever, but I seriously don't know anyone that is getting a job right now. And as I network and I talk to alumni, I talk to mentors, I talk to people at companies that I want to work at, they all keep telling me the exact same thing and it's driving me insane. The market is really bad right now. You're doing all the right things. And I really don't talk a lot about myself or like what school I go to. In fact, I feel like I've only started to do that recently. And I don't think that, I'm necessarily better than anybody else. Like, I'm not trying to come off as arrogant. But if I'm being honest, like, I go to one of the best schools in the country. And I'm a merit scholar at said school. And I have a very high GPA. And I haven't been sitting on my ass for the past 4 years. I've done research. I've volunteered across the world and across this country. I've gotten fellowships. I've gotten awards. I've, done things and made changes to my community that I'm really proud of. And yet I can't even get an interview, a first round interview to any job that I apply to. And before you get in the comments saying, well, maybe it's your materials, maybe it's your cover letter, I've gone to the Career Center. I've had people look at my resume and they said, this looks great. Cover letter, this looks great. I'm networking. I don't apply to any job without reaching out to at least 10 people at the company. And I'm not just applying blind. I'm making sure that I have a connection to each person, whether they went to my school or they were in my scholarship, or I know someone very well that knows them. I'm being very strategic. I literally have an entire Notion template and Excel sheet to track all of the jobs that I am applying to. And I'm getting nothing but rejection. It is so annoying to hear that you're doing the right things when you are only getting the result that you would get if you were doing nothing. And as a senior who is not only taking a full course load, including graduate classes, and is working a fellowship 40 minutes from my house, applying to jobs feels like another job. And I have faith in God's plan for me. I have faith that things will work out, as everyone keeps telling me that it will. But it would be one thing if I was the only person not getting a job. Because if I'm the problem, that means I can also be the solution. But if I can be competitive for my industry, if I can be doing all the right things, I have the grades, I have the experience, I go to an impressive school, and I still am not able to get a job, what else am I supposed to do? So to all of those who are also class of 2026 and later, or I guess earlier, who are also looking for jobs and are not getting anything, trust me, I see you.
I have bad news for those looking for a job and those out of work, which is over 8 million people. Corporate America is signaling a hiring freeze for 2026. A hiring freeze for 2026. If you have not caught some of my other videos about 60% of companies planning on doing layoffs in 2026, check that out. Also, 1 out of 4 people, 25% have been unemployed for 27 weeks or longer. We have lost 1.8 million jobs in 2025 in the beginning of 2026. And the bad part is those people who have lost their jobs have no place to go to get a job because of the corporate hiring freeze. Right now, because of economic turmoil, uncertainty, consumers not buying, higher prices, companies are not hiring. That is a big problem when you have over 8 million people unemployed, and some of them been unemployed for 6, 7, 8 months. That will affect the economy because those 8 million people are not spending money. Companies are not spending money. Taxes, too many taxes prohibit consumer spending. It prohibits growth of the economy. Hi, my name's Christina. I have a master's degree in business. Please do not spend money. Do the best that you can to track your spending, cut back on spending, eliminate spending, shop around on every single thing on your budget. You should not be paying full price for one thing that you do monthly.
No one's really talking about this, but all the job numbers are a lot lower than what they should be for the job list. Basically, all those reports that they're releasing are people that are on unemployment compensation, but it's not covering the people that are past the window of having their first unemployment, that sort of thing. And I'm at 33 months of unemployment without any success, and it's just really discouraging, and I don't know when things will change. I have one interview this week for a temporary role at Stanford, but hello. And I'm not sure what to do because I've applied to over 10,000 jobs, and I'm just walking around the neighborhood as my husband's interviewing in the house. It's like that sort of dystopian environment right now, is that we're looking for anything that is, meeting our experience, but we're applying against 200 to 400 people within a job pool, and it's really discouraging. And I don't know what else to really do because I've been trying everything: Trader Joe's, Costco, In-N-Out, and gig work is full. I've tried to apply to Walmart Spark, and I wasn't able to even get that, which is really weird. And also looked at Amazon, that is full, Instacart is full, DoorDash is full. And they don't require a lot of, they don't give people time limits, so I feel like a lot of those apps are full because there's a lot of people that aren't working. And yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen, or if there's going to be a solution, or any of the interviews that I interviewed at will come back. I'm hoping I can get an offer just so I can have something, and it's just really scary. Keep everyone in your prayers that's searching in this job market because it's horrible.
Please like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment below on what's going on. I'll see you on the next one.